Okay, good morning. And I'm tired of this market, but if it's going to turn up, it's going to do it today or tomorrow based on this pattern. I can't imagine it being quiet much longer. I mean, this is kind of ridiculous already. I don't know what gamma is, Trader McGraw. By the way, I read that comment that you got from the service, and I don't see that the put call ratio went up yesterday. There were more puts being bought. I mean, what I see, it was relatively low. I mean, the moving average is moving up toward, you know, no oxygen. And it closed yesterday at 0.695. So it low the last couple of days. So option traders are thinking this thing's going to pop. I guess I don't even know what OPEC is. OPEC, oil stuff? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. All that thinking gives me a headache. An expiration. Yeah, well, you remember that saying from the movie, the guy who was walking around the country, running around the country, Tom Hanks movie. Maybe you're right, but shit happens. So something comes out to move this market, and all those theoreticals go out the window. Anyway, we've got a pattern here where at least the S&Ps broke below these two prior bars and they came back up. We had that sell-off yesterday on some news, and then, at around midday, and then the markets came right back up again. So we've got a little correction bar type of pattern here. And, as we see, can it take out that bar's high today? And if it does, and gets any elevation going where it can make a new high, well, then clearly yesterday's low becomes a short-term important line in the sand. Until then, you say we're just kind of pinned over here. And so let me get a chance to look at all the open interest stuff, but as we're credit spreads, I guess you got to go somewhere above here and somewhere below here. Just trading inside here. So if your gamma ray gun is back on, I suppose an iron condor on SPX would be in order, where there's premium. I didn't even get a chance to look, up above here somewhere and down below here somewhere. And that would be the play for SPX zero data expiration. See if it just kind of hangs in here. So we shall see. See, the weekly chart is just inside week. Things are just back and forth, back and forth. I imagine so, Trido. There's nothing special. It's McClellan oscillator, that breadth internal, and I can post a website later where you can get it free. You can just click a link and you can see it day to day if you want. So okay. So look, little sell-off going here. Markets are down a little bit, coming down to the bottom of the trading range. No big deal. Every time it dips down there, buyers step up again. And so it's when you see something like this, whether your software like TradeStation puts dots, I had this program to put PH, but whatever, it's a pivot. 3 lower highs to the left and right, 3 higher lows to the left and right, creates a pivot. Trend of pivots make a trend, right? Either up or down. And so now we've got a chart where, like we use moving averages for a visual aid. You can use these pivots as a visual aid. Visual aid for what? Create a thought, right? Without thinking too much. these are opposing back and forth like that, clearly you're in a trading range. Another way to look at it on this time frame, if I had moving averages, the moving averages would be intersecting prices. It's another way of objectively looking at your chart, taking yourself out of the thought process in a way of saying, hey, whatever you think up and down, this thing's just going sideways. So opposing pivots, you had like a 20 and a 50 or whatever you choose on here, they'd probably be slicing through the middle of prices. And so don't do anything. Right? Right. So for those of you on YouTube, always ask me about SPX, McGraw. I'm just telling you those are where the levels are today with their juice. Email me. Green room registration is set for 2:15. No, green room registration is set whatever every day when I open it up around 8:30 or so. Someone's asking me on YouTube. Email me, Greg at Master Trader. Everybody's in here, so a lot of people are in here. All right, let's take a look at the other markets and Qs. Been the weaker, and you see it, the sell-off yesterday came down to this what we call minor support. Prior pivots over there, that price is pushed above. I stepped up again. Is also the 20 MA on the daily chart. Sometimes the 20 MA becomes a focal point, just like the 50 or the 200. So prices came down there, and that little sell-off stop and pop up, getting a retest here. So kind of sloppy stuff, but 5 minutes in a downtrend, but it's got a nice size retracement here. So I would be interested to see if this can consolidate at this resistance area here, and maybe this can become a turnaround day. Be watching for that. And yeah, nice retracement off of the low here. Coma-like trading, it's amazing. And if you just look at the bodies of the candles here and just imagine, no tails, just going sideways for 5 days, give or take a little bit. It's a coma. But there's some good stuff moving, right? There's some great stuff moving around, individual stocks. So we call that on your own page. Right? Who cares what the market's doing? Right? These stocks or this sector is moving. All right, Russell's still doing well. That popped up to a new high there. Slopping around. We got this big wide bar on the weekly. And equal weight, what is that? SP, RSP, equal weight SPX. Yeah, you're right. Well, I guess the S&P moved a little bit. That popped up to a new high. So what does that infer? That Facebook and the FANGs are influence on the SPY and holding it, I suppose. Take the big boys out of the FANGs out of the way. Yeah, the soldiers are bringing up the rear. That's a good way to put it. Bonds are up here a little bit. Climactic kind of a buy, which should be taken carefully or with a grain of salt, so to speak. So while this is extended from the moving averages and support, it's the beginning of the move. You can see wide range bar down on the weekly. When we look at climactic buy setups, ideally, it's like on the second leg down where it tries to go up and it rolls over and you get that measured type of a move to the downside, which could be somewhere in here, right? You got this level right there. So somewhere in here, when bonds get down there, buyers will become aggressive, especially if it was to collapse and we were to get that kind of a measured move. Explain it with TLT. So you got lots of gaps because bonds, futures trading overnight, this catches up, so on and so forth. Yeah, so the stabilization there, wide range bar down, igniting. You got the breakdown. I picked the wrong thing. There's your breakdown, similar levels there. So if it was to collapse down into the 140 area, well, you can see all that congestion there. And that's where it broke out. By the way, Dan and I like to show some stuff with patterns that you guys can take into the future, but this is a beautiful kind of breakout pattern, meaning, this was in a trading range and it popped to the top of the range and it chopped sideways at the top of the range and formed those bottoming tail bars that took out the prior low and then another one. So this little resting period prior to the move, that's the ideal kind of breakout pattern versus the ones that we don't do is it's at the bottom of the range and it's got a fluid move and it takes out the top of the range. Traders buy that and all of a sudden they're down on it and they're hitting the bid and they're selling where others are getting in on support. So that is one to remember as a nice, that's a go-to pattern. When you see it, that's like, what do we're pattern traders, right? Pattern recognition. That's what that's called. Well, I see the pattern. Oh, that's what happened in the future. Let me press the button. Really genius. All right. Oil, spoke about that. I spoke yesterday about the dollar, and the dollar went down yesterday, and oil and those oil stocks popped very nicely. And so what's happening? I'm going to show you. Dollar. Let's see, oil's coming in pretty good here. Dollar went down yesterday. Oil stocks went up. And euro just kind of hung. It went up there a little bit. Watch this here. That is setting up for a measured move lower. Now, this is the beginning day, right? So this is, I don't know where this is going to end. If it was a bottoming tail bar or a big green bar, clearly that changes. Oh, yeah, keep an eye on this and the dollar. If this turns into a measured move lower, these oil stocks that look so bullish, they're going to come in. Just an inverse relationship, another genius thing. Keep an eye on it. Gold stabilizing at the lows here. And that came down real nasty like, so needs a little time to repair the damage if it can do it. Silver, starting the same thing. And the transports. This is, markets in a coma. Transports look good. Um, mentioned jets to the ETF letter yesterday as a potential buy. Hasn't triggered, but you can see this bottoming type of pattern here if it can clear here. So even the airline stocks, and so the rails have been doing well. Maybe the airlines can catch up with the rails and move up there. So got some pluses and minuses, and the markets are just for the most part doing nothing, and individual stocks are doing okay. Where to go look. What yours, Dan?
Good morning, everyone. Let's see. When I checked all our opens here an hour ago, everything was great. We had no problems. And now, I don't know what happened. Obviously, it's news, but the only problem child we have right now is our Dropbox GBX. I don't know what the heck just happened there, but we bought this tiny 123 down here. We sold a third on the first day just because we had a huge gain, and we're in trail mode. So I'll keep an eye on that for us. But everything else is fine. Tesla, I keeping an eye on. We have the 890 short strike. Amazon call spread, Facebook call spread. We have a number of longs. Our Fubo, we did a February put spread. That's up again. That could have been, my target was 36. That could have been a late day breakout here, not a clean one because it's bobbling around. We had a beautiful late day breakout here on XPEV after this red bar ignored. And we sold a third right into the close. So we're still holding that. All right, let's go to gappers, unless you have a question on any open. CEO of VMware is leaving. Leaving for Intel. So this, if there's any juice, that will be a fantastic call spread candidate. And Intel, I saw it and it just kept going and going and going and going and going. Wow, that thing. That's, for a new CEO, that's a big move. DDX acquisition rumors. Maybe somebody denied the, oh, you mean DBX. Oh, gotcha. So McGraw is saying maybe it's, yeah, but you know what, McGraw, this is a normal move, not a crazy rumor, hey, you're going to be bought out move. But yeah, I could see any rumors being denied as yeah, causing a shock like that, sure. Yeah, that's more of a move, like a rumor. Totally agree. But then what caused the sell-off like that? Thomas asking about a couple of things. CPE, yeah, looks fantastic. I mean, it's it trades a little sloppy, but yesterday is what I call the something bar because it's a closing breakout. Wow, look at CME. I just typed in there by mistake. Wow, there's another one Greg missed. Wow, look at that thing. All right, CPE. But yeah, see my little weekly and monthly. Now I want to click the monthly to see how big of a price void. So it's not a core, but sure, 30-minute high you can buy. Lift. Had a little breakdown failure, still in a trading range. So that would be a put spread candidate under well, 2 days under the week's low, Monday's low, because it's every single time it's tried to go down, it can't. So that's a put spread idea. Biden's firing people. Well, how can, oh, obviously, yeah, he'll get fired afterwards. Langone was on talking on CNBC. I like him. He's a good old boy, smart, successful. He was talking about, made a good comment about Illinois' problems. The just city, just state run horribly. And he was talking about these people retiring, and then they just work as much overtime as is humanly possible for a year. And then he says people who were making 70 grand are retiring with a pension of 300 grand doing that trick. So why should the government have to subsidize that nonsense? But it's too early to get into politics. Yeah, we're long Aurora. We've been in it for a while. I think on that bar right there, or the over that bar. So we sat through a lot of junk. But yeah, Aurora is in a place to add, Janet. Yeah, yeah, we did well on the EVs yesterday. Talking about EVs, Jake, your Romeo here. Your Romeo's been lagging, but I'm okay with trading lagging stocks. So if it can get through this congestion, I'm lumping batteries in with EVs, whatever. Let's see, there's one in here. I told Craig that it was a core yesterday. Where are you? No, it wasn't Ride. Hey, look at pre-market. That's a bullish pre-market on Ride. So this is another EV worth watching. Live, I don't know what the heck's going on there. It's doubling, so no interest. Snow is not ready, but I like, if it doesn't take out yesterday's low and it starts getting his sea legs, then McGraw a 260 foot spread might be in the works. The Intel ripping, nothing to do with that. Dash, yeah, this was, I call it the pizza delivery company. I cannot believe this greater than 100% retracement. Wow. Neo, yeah, McGraw for Friday. Well, I don't say that Neo's on the move. It's just rallying to resistance and it's climactic. Solo we bought yesterday. It was perfect. And then we sold a third right at the high. My target is 10 to 12. Looks great. Galing. This was the one that I said could have been a core yesterday, but I didn't see it. You know what I want to do this afternoon, folks, when we slow down is let's build a list of EV and battery stocks because I just have them off memory, but I need to build a go-to sheet so I don't miss them. Yeah, send it to me, McGraw, and we'll go through them together, make sure they have liquidity and so forth. But look, this was a core long yesterday. Look at my little weekly and monthly here. But Greg, what's the sector? I don't
Go to the, I don't have my TC open. I'm opening it now.
Yeah,
you have a page with sectors. You click or just type in one of the symbols, and then it'll bring up a list.
that are okay. All right. Well, then we'll do that. All right. But anyway, monthly here, not a no-brainer. Like here, I'm going to show you a no-brainer is our Alfa Romeo. And look at this. This is a core trade to us. We haven't sold a single share yet of Alfa Romeo because we're trading the longer time frame. I mean, I might sell a third under a prior day's low because we're up 45%. We've been in this since this breakout bar, 1210. But see, I'm showing you that this is a beautiful monthly, whereas this Galing, it would have been good for a swing trade, but see all these overlapping bars to the left? That's what would make this one not a core trade, but a swing. Let's see what we got here. SKLZ. I know it's far from the 20, but I like the pre-market a lot. It's gapping up over yesterday's high and going sideways. So for a day trade, this is interesting. Kirk, McGraw, you gave me this. I remember our MT Live called The Turn. That kind of, hey, you know what, Craig? That kind of sounds like a Netflix series. We should probably talk to Netflix about the turn. So here's our turn, McGraw, on major support above the 50. So yeah, maybe 5, 10, 15, 30-minute high. I like that as a swing and a put spread. Look at plug, bottom right. Oh, it's a Rick. Yeah, that look, it's gapping up and breaking down. You can short a 5-minute low. I personally don't trade in the first 5 minutes because this could snap right back in, could snap in your face. But this is a gap and crap setup. You see my VMware there? That's what we call a pro gap. It's from a sideways trend. If it closes like this, it's now in a downtrend. That's an ugly gap. Hey, you know what I was also thinking when I heard this story and looked at the stock? Yeah, these options are going to be untradeable with the stupid spreads. You know what I was thinking of? Like they must have kept this so confidential. The hiring away of a competitor CEO. This chart didn't suggest the CEO was leaving. Same with Intel. This, well, there could have been some grumblings going on here because that was a bullish 100% retracement, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, let's get out of this thing on a bounce too. It's damaged. So we still have a profit. We sold a third at the high. So yeah, it's still profitable. So good move there, detective. I give the analogy, it's like the dog that bit you. It was a good pattern, the dog bit you. So I'm just going to get rid of that dog when the coast is clear. You don't want the dog biting you again if he knows that you're taking him to the pound. Don't you like my analogies, detective?